This is DSG Herald News. Global tensions escalate as US-Iran diplomacy collapses. Military deployments intensify and political shocks reshape Europe and the United States. Across Africa, elections, leadership outcomes, and major trade shifts redefine power and economic direction. In Nigeria, security operations, governance pressure, and institutional reforms dominate national attention. The full story. US-Iran talks collapse after 21 hours without deal. A critical diplomatic effort between the United States and Iran has broken down after nearly a full day of negotiations. The talks held in Islamabad, Pakistan, lasted 21 hours and ended without agreement on a ceasefire framework. US Vice President J.D. Vance led the American delegation, while Iran was represented by Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi and Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf. US officials say Iran refused to commit to abandoning its nuclear weapons ambitions, a key demand from Washington. Iran, however, insists the deadlock was caused by disagreement over sanctions relief, compensation claims, and long-term security guarantees in the region. Pakistan has urged both sides to maintain the fragile two-week ceasefire already in place. The collapse raises fears of renewed escalation across the Middle East, with global powers now watching closely for the next move. Trump orders naval blockade of Strait of Hormuz. US President Donald Trump has ordered a naval blockade of the Strait of Hormuz in a dramatic escalation of tensions with Iran. The decision was announced on April 12, just hours after diplomatic talks collapsed in Islamabad. US warships are now being deployed to restrict vessels entering and leaving Iranian ports through this strategic waterway. Trump warned that any attack on US forces or commercial shipping will trigger immediate and forceful retaliation. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the world's most critical oil routes, handling a large share of global energy exports. Any disruption could send oil prices soaring and destabilize global markets. Iran is yet to issue an official response, but the situation remains highly volatile. US Navy clears mines in Strait of Hormuz corridor. The United States Navy has begun a high-risk operation to clear sea mines from the Strait of Hormuz. US Central Command confirmed that destroyers USS Frank E. Peterson and USS Michael Murphy are leading the mission. The operation comes amid rising tensions and concerns that mines could threaten commercial shipping. So far, only about 30 vessels have passed through the corridor, reflecting reduced traffic and growing fear among shipping operators. The strait is a vital artery for global oil supply, making its security essential to world economy. Officials say the mission aims to restore confidence and reopen safe passage for international trade. Any failure could trigger wider economic consequences across energy markets. UK rejects blockade, pushes to reopen shipping routes. The United Kingdom has publicly rejected the United States' decision to impose a blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. Prime Minister Keir Starmer made the position clear during a briefing in London on April 13. He stated that Britain's priority is to keep the shipping route open, not restrict it. The UK has deployed minesweepers to help secure the waterway, but insists its role is strictly defensive. Meanwhile, the US plans to intercept vessels linked to Iranian ports as part of its blockade enforcement. The disagreement exposes a growing divide among Western allies over how to manage the crisis. Global attention is now focused on whether diplomacy can still prevent escalation. Hungary's Orban defeated after 16 years in power. Hungary has witnessed a major political shift as Prime Minister Viktor Orban has lost power after 16 years in office following confirmed final results. Final results show opposition leader Peter Magyar's Tisza party securing 138 seats in the 199-seat parliament. Orban's ruling Fidesz party secured 55 seats, confirming a decisive electoral defeat. Voter turnout stood at 79.5%, remaining one of the highest in Hungary's history. Orban described the result as clear and painful, confirmed he had congratulated his opponent publicly. The outcome signals an expected shift towards closer ties with the European Union and democratic reforms. It marks the first confirmed change of government in Hungary since 2010. Swalwell ends governorship campaign over misconduct allegations. U.S. Congressman Eric Swalwell has formally ended his campaign for California governor amid multiple misconduct allegations now under active investigation. The accusations include claims of sexual assault by a former staff member and similar reports from other women, which remain central to ongoing inquiries. Swalwell has continued to deny all allegations, describing them as false and politically motivated. Pressure intensified from fellow Democrats, with some renewing calls for his resignation from Congress. Authorities in New York have confirmed the investigation is ongoing, with officials reviewing evidence and testimonies. Lawmakers are also moving forward with the House Ethics Committee probe into the matter. His withdrawal came just weeks before California's primary election, scheduled for June 2nd. Trump attacks Pope Leo over Iran war criticism. U.S. President Donald Trump has intensified his attack on Pope Leo amid an escalating public dispute. He again described the Pope as weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy while addressing media in Maryland. The criticism follows the Pope's continued warning against threats to destroy Iranian civilization. Pope Leo has also reaffirmed his condemnation of attacks on civilian infrastructure, calling them violations of international laws. Senior Catholic officials have strongly defended the Pope's position, emphasizing his role as a moral voice. Recent polling continues to show the Pope enjoys higher approval ratings than Trump among U.S. voters. The clash highlights deepening tension between political leadership and religious authority. Now to Africa. China removes tariffs on 53 African countries. China has announced it will remove tariffs on exports from 53 African countries starting next month. The policy applies to nations with diplomatic ties to Beijing, excluding Eswatini. It expands a previous initiative that covered only 33 least developed countries. Major economies including Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, Egypt, and Morocco would benefit. Tariffs of up to 25% on goods like sugar and seafoods will be eliminated. China says the move aims to boost industrialization and deepen economic cooperation. Analysts believe it could significantly reshape Africa's trade landscape. Still in Africa, Wadagni takes clear lead as opposition concedes ahead of official results. Benin has concluded its presidential election involving nearly 7.8 million registered voters, determining the successor to President Patrick Talon, who is stepping down. Finance Minister Romuald Wadagni has taken a clear lead, with opposition candidate Paul Hope conceding defeat and offering Republican congratulations. The race was marked by the absence of major opposition parties, raising concerns about political inclusiveness. The election took place amid rising insecurity and a recent failed coup attempt, with observers closely monitoring turnout after low participation in previous elections. Electoral observers from ECOWAS, the African Union, and the European Union monitored the process. Officials described the vote as largely peaceful overall, despite civil society groups reporting around 100 incidents of irregularities, including early voting issues and procedural concerns. Official results are expected to confirm Wadagne as president, setting the course for Benin's political direction over the next 7 years. Djibouti's president Ismail Omar Guelleh has secured a 6th term in office. Official results show he won 97.8% of votes in the April 11 election. His only challenger received just 2.19%. Turnout was reported at over 80% nationwide. Opposition parties boycotted the election, citing lack of political freedom. Recent constitutional changes allowed the 78-year-old leader to run again. Djibouti's strategic location keeps it central to global military and trade interests. Nigeria wins double titles at Africa Handball Finals. Nigeria has reported a major sporting success at the African Zone 3 Handball Championship. The Under-18 team defeated Ivory Coast 32-19 in Lome, Togo, while the Under-20 team also secured victory, beating Benin Republic 39-29. Both teams dominated their matches with strong early leads. The Under-20 side led 22-16 at halftime before extending their advantage. These wins highlight Nigeria's growing strength in youth handball. Both teams now qualify for the continental tournament later this year. Airstrike hits Borno market with dozens feared dead. A Nigerian Air Force airstrike has hit Jeli market near the Borno-Yobe border. The strike targeted suspected Boko Haram fighters during an operation. Eyewitnesses report dozens of civilians dead, with estimates reaching 56. Several injured victims have been taken to hospitals in Gaidam and Damaturu. Police spokesperson Gunduz Abdul Karim confirmed the incident. The Air Force has not yet issued an official statement. The incident raises serious concerns about civilian protection in military operations. Nigeria sanctions 60 over terrorism financing network. Nigeria has released a new sanction list targeting terrorism financing networks. The list includes 48 individuals and 12 corporate entities. Names linked to Boko Haram, ISWAP, and IPOB are included. Sanctions include asset freezes, travel bans, and financial restrictions. Authorities confirmed over 500 suspects have been arraigned. At least 386 have already been convicted in Abuja. The move aims to cut off funding and weaken extremist operations. IGP Disu orders nationwide crackdown on police misconduct. The Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu, has ordered sweeping reforms across the force. The directive bans extortion, illegal detention, and abuse of power. Officers are now prohibited from operating unauthorized checkpoints. They are also barred from forcing civilians to withdraw money from ATMs. The X squad has been assigned to monitor compliance nationwide. Violators will face arrest and disciplinary action. Authorities says the move is aimed at restoring public trust. ADC schedules Abuja convention amid internal crisis. The African Democratic Congress will hold its national convention in Abuja on April 14. Over 3,000 delegates are expected at the Rainbow Hotel venue. The party failed to secure Eagle Square and National Stadium. Officials describe the situation as an assault on democracy. The convention comes amid internal disputes and factional divisions. New state executives will be inaugurated in May. The party says it will proceed despite ongoing challenges. Those are top stories shaping our world right now, from rising geopolitical tensions in the Middle East to political transitions in Europe. Africa is redefining leadership and trade, while Nigeria confronts critical security and governance challenges. At DSG Herald News, we deliver verified facts, clear analysis, and stories that matter. Stay informed, stay ahead. Visit dsgradio.com for more details. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us across all social media platforms. Thank you.